There is a question that one of the readers or one of the viewers of one of my videos asked. Basically, this person is asking, how does the denial of male victimization lead to fatherlessness? How does the denial of male victimization lead to fatherlessness? That's an interesting question, and I have tried my best to answer it in some of my videos, which I put out there. And of course, if you have the book, and there's a clear link between the denial of male victimization and fatherlessness. Now, this is not my opinion, it is the opinion of multiple researchers, multiple institutions around the world, and they have linked the fatherlessness with denial of male victimization, which has cascading effects on us all. Now, for us to understand that link, it is important that I try to explain to you the landscape of domestic violence. What we do understand today about domestic violence came from female experiences. Women themselves, when they experienced domestic violence, they fled, and by their experiences, important frameworks have been designed, one of which is the power and control wheel, which describes the broad spectrum of actions that constitute domestic violence. In a prior video, I tried to explain in greater detail what the power and control wheel is all about. But in this video, I will just explain briefly what it's about and what constitutes domestic violence in order to answer this question from this viewer. Basically, some actions that constitute domestic violence are using children as pawns, using visitation to harass, threatening to take away the children from the other, and you can go on and on, but let me limit it there just for the purposes of this of answering this question. Now, if these actions are done to women, it is readily recognized as violence, and there are support systems, including law enforcement agencies, being put in place to address it, to basically offer support and protection to the woman and their children, and rightly so. That is the direction, and that must be done. The question, however, becomes, when it is directed at a man, why the double standard? Now, around the world, and in many cases, we would see this example that I'm about to give you manifest itself in a variety of ways. In the book, I explored many such examples. In this case, there were this couple who were in the family court in the United States, and the woman was alleging domestic violence, and the judge listened, and the judge said, what you have told me is textbook definition domestic violence, and I, however, cannot make any determination right here right now, not because I don't believe you. I do believe you, and I have to take legal action to protect you and to offer accountability to the male perpetrator. But I cannot do anything now because you have not presented any shred of evidence to back up your claims. Just a single witness is not here, and I seriously apologize for that. But moving forward, if you have any other evidence any day, please come back to us and we shall take immediate action. The rule of the court system is evidence. Now, when it was the man to speak, he said, George, everything she has said, I can right here and now corroborate them. They are all true. And I would wish that you take effective action as you have said moments ago. Everything she said is true except for one thing. I did not do it to her. She did it to me. And right here and now, if you allow me, I have witnesses lining up to testify. I have evidence right here, text messages, phone calls, emails, audio, videos, health professionals who treated me when I had to show up to them with visible injuries. Me and these children, we need support. To which the judge said, we are here in a family court. This is not a criminal court. Now, this is the double standard when we talk about male victimization in the age of denial. So, what we are saying is, if the violence is directed at the mother, she, together, and the children who are witnessing the violence need protection, and of course they should. But if the father is the one experiencing violence, are we now saying he doesn't need any protection? Neither do the children. It doesn't make sense. So that is why I make the argument in the book that the denial of male victimization leads to the epidemic of fatherlessness. By denying the experiences of men in plain view, by extension, we deny protection to those children, the most vulnerable of our society. And that is the landscape of male experiences. But to answer your question further, why the double standard? Now, in the book I explore multiple reasons for that. But if I have to use one word, patriarchy. Patriarchy. And what do I mean? Patriarchal structures have, for the most part, dictated gender roles. Women are nurturing, weak. Men are strong. Your job is to provide. So even when we witness violence by a female against a male, well, patriarchal structures dictate that the woman should be the one to take care of the children, even if she is the violent partner. Multiple studies have shown that children who are left in this kind of environment end up with behavioral issues and mental health problems. There was a study again in the United States, South Africa, and in other parts of the world by multiple researchers, multiple institutions, which I try to cover some in the book. Children impacted by this kind of violence are about 300% more likely to carry guns and deal drugs. Now, I also went further to make another argument that the denial of male victimization as rooted in patriarchal norms robs us from our collective humanity. Because to witness suffering and turn a blind eye, including to the most vulnerable of our society, our children, that means we have denied their humanity. And before we denied their humanity, we began by denying our humanity. Now, another aspect of patriarchy is this. When we talk about male victimization in domestic violence, you can look at it through this concept. When we talk about racism, usually professionals say that racism is hidden in plain view. Down the years, blacks, for example, have been saying how racial structures adversely impact them, but it's been denied until when George Floyd happened, right? Police brutality before our eyes, and we saw the global outcry. But many have always been saying, listen, the data don't lie, the statistics don't lie. We knew this all along. But right there, when it happened in plain view, it was acknowledged and there was a collective outcry. Hence, racism is denied. It's hidden in plain view. Racism is hidden in plain view. But when it comes to male victimization, it is not even the issue. It is denied in plain view. Like the case I just told you about. The evidence was there, but yet denied. Where is the outcry even? We can actually see in many cases a man being victimized before our eyes, even when he has shown no sign of aggression. But he is being held to account and he is being told he did something. If these actions, which are described in the power and control wheel from female experiences, are without excuse and are met with accountability and protection for women, and it must and it should, why the double standard when it happens to the man? Why? So, I hope I've answered your question, how the denial of male victimization leads to the epidemic of fatherlessness. When men are abused, when we deny it, their children are left without protection and they end up not being in the life of their children because they have to leave the abusive relationship and then they leave their children behind. And the children grow up in an abusive environment and tend to more likely develop behavioral problems and mental health issues. And when these children, they grow up later on in life and start to act out, we wonder why. Ladies and gentlemen, please, I hope I've answered your question, and please keep the questions coming, and please get the book and let the conversation continue. Thank you very much.